In today's video, what's the best way to benefit from a cheat meal?
All by myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to the video. Today's video is coming to you live from Columbus, staring out at some snow. But as I get ready to leave the Arnold Classic, I thought I'd look through some questions, and I actually found a question on my Instagram direct message, which you can follow here and send me questions, which really related to a lot of the things that were going on, because as we were here in Ohio, I had a lot of clients with me asking me questions about how to handle the trip. You see, when you come to an event like this, there's a lot of demand for social interaction and being out. And so cheat meals or free meals, however you want to phrase them, are a very important part of, enjoying yourself. And so I got a great question, and I'll post it here on the screen for you guys. But it basically comes down to, in the off season, when you're planning a cheat meal, what's the best way to benefit from it? So I want to talk about the two ways that we benefit from a cheat meal. And the term cheat meal, I think we can all agree, just means a meal where we kind of untrack, we overeat a little bit, enjoy ourselves. I would never want someone to use the term cheat meal to kind of justify a binge session, okay? So I actually prefer the term free meal, meaning we don't track it, but we also don't eat like a jerk, okay? The goal here is not to, just go crazy. The goal is to enjoy ourselves, because there's two reasons why we would benefit from this. The one is going to be psychologically, and that's where I feel like the most value is. So for myself and the athletes that I work with, we track our calories, and more specifically our macros, throughout the year, depending on our goals, whether that be adding calories to build muscle and maintain leanness, or reducing calories to get into better condition and possibly compete. So the value of a free meal is that you kind of don't have to be so focused on these specific numbers, counting every little thing that you're eating. So you can go out and enjoy and not feel the stress of having to do that. Some people really benefit from this. Some people actually struggle when I give them a free meal. They prefer to kind of plan ahead and know what that is. So a lot of it comes down to personality. And that's why when I say psychology cannot be subtracted from physiology, it's important to know yourself. Do you benefit from this cheat meal, this free meal? If you go out and have something like this, does it allow you to then be more on your plan, to be better at what you're doing? Or does it kind of trigger you and send you down a landslide of wanting more of these? Likewise, if you stay in a restricted approach where you're tracking every day, does this then lead to perhaps a binge session or overeating without wanting to track, okay? So you've got to find what works best for you. So the best way that I can say it works for athletes that are in the off season, first thing, the off season is about getting your mind and your body ready for the season, which is very restrictive, which is, very tough on the body. So I'm not worried about a little fluctuation on the scale, especially after a free meal. But what I typically find, at least with myself, is when I'm in my full off-season mode, my calories are a little higher. If I have something that's a little indulgent, a free meal, well, the next day, I'm just not as hungry. I also kind of mentally want to pull back a little bit. So what I'll typically do the next day is just go a little bit more restrictive, eat a little bit less carbs, maybe a fewer fats, maybe just be more specific with what I'm eating on that day. But I don't overdo it. I don't do cardio to compensate. I don't restrict a bunch of calories to compensate. In fact, sometimes on the day that I'm going to have the free meal, I might even restrict a little bit earlier in the day if I know I'm just going to be kind of enjoying myself, okay? This is how I like to balance things. Now, it all comes down to what works best for you. What is the best thing for you physiologically? Well, there is some value, I feel, to eating some, foods that are kind of higher calorie density foods. I find a big benefit when I eat like some higher fat red meats, things like hamburger, things like French fries. These things kind of add a benefit to me. I feel it helps my digestion. It certainly helps me mentally, but also physiologically. If you're constantly just eating the same foods over and over, I feel like the lack of variety can actually create some digestive issues. So I certainly feel like there's value in adding foods that you know agree with you, especially a free meal. You know, some of my favorite free meals are definitely, as I mentioned, burger and fries, some Italian foods, some of the heavier, denser Italian foods that they're just difficult to track. Things like lasagna, it's very difficult to go out and eat that and track it accurately, so don't worry about it, okay? Find what works for you. Certainly try multiple approaches, but don't be overly concerned about scale fluctuations. Even if you make no adjustments, if you just go back to your plan, within a few days, the scale is going to stabilize back where it was. And in fact, I often recommend not getting on the scale the day after or even a few days after. You know, I do like tracking scale on the scale weight on a regular basis, but you know, every single day after a meal, if it's going to kind of cause you to be concerned, maybe you just don't weigh in for a couple days. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. I am getting ready to finish up some work here in Ohio, fly back home to Florida, and I just want to thank everybody that came out to the Arnold Classic. I've never had so many people come up to me and you know, just say the nicest things about the content I provide, how I'm helping you guys, whether it be clients or people that I've never met. This was far and away the best Arnold Classic that I've ever been to. Okay, so I'm already looking forward to next year, and I'm already looking forward to 3 weeks from now being in Aiken, South Carolina for the NPC and IFBB Border Clash, where I have both pro and amateur clients competing. So if you're in that area, I highly recommend you come out. We'll be doing a seminar on Friday, and then we'll have the show on Saturday, and Joe Pishkula just puts on an amazing event. So hope to see you guys there, and I will talk to you tomorrow from the warmth of Florida.